Right, here we are, folks. We're back with Friday Night 9 Ball. We've had a week or two off. Wimbledon was on, so we took a break. The tournament has just started and the rooms are up. You can see there's 4 games just getting underway. Let's have a quick look at the bracket. Now, right, so we've got Mr. Bill playing Irish Gaz. Romario has a bye. McClarkey is playing Dirties or Dr. Ties, and Dr. Ties is getting the 5 ball as the extra money ball. Larry's got a bye. He's waiting in the winner of that match, and Romario's waiting in the winner of the top match. We've got Popman playing Capo, and poor Popman is up against a 5 and out handicap, so he's going to struggle in that. Wizard Cheat is going to play the winner of that one. And we have Wink at Me scheduled to play Bedhead. Wink at Me's getting the 8 ball, and finally One Pocket Slim has a bye. Now, I didn't see Slim in the lobby, so I don't know whether he's... Oh, there he is, he's arrived. Right, so we've got those couple of matches already started. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in and we're going to have a look at McClarkey and Dr. Ties. Now, McClarkey is an old Virtual Pool 3 player who hasn't been around for a long while. And he's just been in Virtual Pool 4 in the last couple of weeks. So remember, it's race to 7 on the winner's side. It is handicapped, of course. And in this match, Dr. Ties, or Dirties, however we pronounce it, is getting that extra money ball, the 5 ball. So McClarkey's won the first rack. Breaks off in rack number 2, comes up dry. He's got it safe. So just to either a kick or a push. Probably. Well, he could get lucky here if he gets it half ball. He can send the one up the table. Well, he sent the cue ball up the table. And I think he's got away with it, has he? Yeah, he's got away with it. Not enough of it shown. Right, let's do our quick little check. See everything's working okay. Yep, that's working fine. And I've just looked and checked the stream quality. It's gone in amber and it's actually buffering at the moment for some reason. It's always the same on Friday. And it buffers, which is never a good sign, but nevertheless we'll carry on. And McClarkey, there was a big pause in the middle of that there. I had a big Windows 10 update today. I don't know about anybody else, but it was a huge update. It took, probably about 40 minutes to get the damn thing installed. I haven't even looked to see what the updates are. Something about 3D Paint I noticed in one of the notifications that popped up, but that took some amount of time to get done. So Dirty's on the 2 ball. Now he's got an angle on it. He could push through and come up. He's went round the corner and collided with the 3, so he's got away with that to a certain extent, and he's got the angle to drop onto the 4 as well, but he probably might have to draw into the rail. Danger of colliding with balls, and he didn't really get into it enough. That was the problem there. Yeah, that's buffering quite badly for some strange reason. And plus the other thing is I just did an update to XSplit, which is a program that I use. Just give me a sec. See if that'll make any difference. No, it's still buffering. Well, I can see the stream now. Well, here's hoping it picks up in quality. So, where are we at in this match? We're one rack all. Well, he's just going to have to get delicate on this 5-ball, because again it's tight in the corner pocket and it's always difficult to just judge the control of the cue ball. He's got to hit this 5-ball sort of half ball rather than trying to... Well, he's done it okay, got a little soft draw on it, and he's got an angle to drop over towards the 7. Needs to watch the middle pocket. He's avoided that. And now just a simple little roll in and he can spin across the right for that 9-ball. So McClarkey looks as if he's going into the lead. Yeah, he's a player that was around Virtual Pool 3 for a good number of years. And then disappeared off the radar. Well, like most people, life moves on. There's other more important things in online gaming, but if you can drop in now and again, get a couple of games in, maybe get his eye in again. Now he can drop between the 8 and the 9, he's got the angle to do it, just a little stun across to go on that 3. Doesn't need to do a lot with the cue ball, just needs to stun across. He's chosen to run, and again he's managed to avoid the 3, so he's actually finished exactly where he could have finished if he'd stunned it. Finally he's been caught out, I think. Can't get the potting angle in the 4. And I don't think he's even got enough angle to draw into that 5 to try and nudge the 5 in. But again, trying to draw for position all the time doesn't really get you a lot of success. It might work for a couple of shots, but somewhere along the line you're gonna drop out a line. And now he's left a chance here. He's tightening the rail, so he can only go forward. Now this could end up going wrong. Needs to watch that 9-ball, make sure he stays out of the way of that. And he's now on the rail, so he's got a nice angle. Again, nothing you need to do with the cue ball, just pot the 8, the cue ball's going in the right direction. Although he's left it dead straight, and these can easily just get punched offline and off the jaw. So it's a 3-1 lead for McClarkey, and Dirties, well, this is going to be pretty quick. 1 and 9 hanging over the pocket. Oh dear, that was poor. Again, The worst thing you can ever do when you've got a dead set shot like that is let the cue ball run. And you just drop it in dead weight. You don't let the cue ball run, because silly things can happen and he'll probably end up paying the price. And that was a dumb shot, he knows it was. So from what looked like a dead certain gift, it was thrown away. And now he's going to have to dig himself out a hole here and get a kick on this 5-ball. And then just hope he gets lucky. Well, the 2-ball, sorry. But remember, he's got that 5-ball as his extra money ball. And look where it's sitting. Well, he's scratched. 5-ball hanging over the corner pocket. That's something McClarkey needs to be aware of. And he's probably not even focused on the fact that that's his opponent's extra money ball, so he needs to get rid of it quick. And he's made a right hash of that. Again, trying to do some artistic spin. And now he's having to pull out a good shot here. He might even billiard the 5 in, as a matter of fact. Well, gets the 4. And now the true test of getting position, drawn off this 5 and trying to get on the 6. Pace is good. And the angle's there to let that 6-ball run in, come up between the 8 and 9 and shoot the 7 past the 9. And again, far too much spin on it. He's overdoing it a bit with the English McClarkey. Maybe need to tone that down a little bit. That's what undone him there. Is he going to get away with it? I think he has. Yeah, he's just dropping the cue, or the actual point of the cue, far too far east and west and north and south on the cue ball. It doesn't need that much spin. Now that shot there was crying out for a thin edge and trying to tuck the cue ball in behind the 8-ball. Again, Dirties has just sold out. So McClarkey's got a chance here to go 3-1 up, although he looks as if he's straight on this 8. No, he's okay, he can just run across. Well, again, he wants to draw back for some strange reason. Why he didn't look at that 9-ball into this middle pocket here where the donut is, I don't know. But he's making life more difficult for himself than he actually needs to. Cue ball's going in this time. 4-1 lead, and Dirties needs to do something about it. And remember, he's got the 1-ball, the 3 and the 4, and then the 5 to get. It's not a big ask. And straight away, he's got the wrong angle on the 3-ball, so he's going to have to run the cue ball. And again, not a good shot. He's left a bank, but that wasn't what it was intended. He didn't want to hit the 4. And now he's lost his chance. So it's untidy. And Dirties is making it easy for McClarkey here. Not really putting up much of a fight so far. And just checking the stream, it's buffering again. We've got the amber warning light above the stream, so we're struggling for bandwidth here or something tonight again. Well, it's a semi-reprieve for Dirties. McClarkey misses the bank on the 8, but Dirty's going to have to pull out a good one in the 8 to get on that 9. Into a blind pocket as well. Well, he's got a choice. He's in between. But if he takes this 9 ball into that left middle, he needs to watch the cue ball. This cue ball could end up coming down into this bottom right hand corner pocket here. Well, he's went long, played it well, and gets another one back. But no joy. And this time though, he's left a 1 on. This is again pretty straight. So plenty of room. Just roll that 2 in. Make sure you leave an angle in the 3. Well, again, he's going for the spectacular when just rolling it across would have been fine. He would have been able to hold the cue ball. Well, there's the result. I said that Popman was going to struggle. And, you know, Popman's not the level of player that can handle a 5 and out against Capo. And that's why he lost 7-0. That's a bit unfair. But Capo plays with such a low rating that he gets away with all these multi-money ball handicaps. So poor Popman's going to have to battle his way through the one lost side already. Meanwhile, McClarkey's got to avoid the 8 ball here. If he's going to stun up and try and get up past that. Well, he's again struggling for position here and pace. And this is a prime example of somebody who doesn't get to play the game an awful lot. And when you don't, you lose all control of your pace until you've played a good few racks to get your eye back in. You're just overdoing it with the spin and overdoing it with the pace. And he's out of shape and having to pull out difficult shots to keep this run going. And in goes the 7, and now he's pretty nigh perfect on the 8. And a little drop in the 9, and it's a 5-2 lead. Again, McClarkey's broke off. He's had no joy. The balls are all sitting nice, but Dirties has not really got a shot in the 1. Well, he's going to get cover though. I don't know whether there's a gap there between the 6 and 3 to get to that 1. He's going off the 2 rails, and that's a nice shot. Just caught enough of the edge of that 1 not to move it too far, left it safe. Dirty's trying to get banks really where there isn't a bank. Wasn't much of that pocket showing there, I don't think. Well, my second monitor is the monitor that I look at to check how the stream's doing, and it's buffering again on my end, and it's showing up amber in terms of the quality, so I don't know what it's like for any of the guys watching. So now here's the problem ball, getting on the 6 on that left rail. And he's no shot, so he's just got to look at a safety. And he's try and cross bank it. Well, he's managed to get it in the corner, and he's finished in the 7. I'll settle for that myself. But now he's got to control the pace of this. He should go right round the table and leave the 9 into the same pocket, because that would make it simpler. But he's again just struggling with the pace a wee bit. He's fell short. The 9's off the rail, so this isn't a difficult cut. He's got to catch that edge of the 9 right, and he's done it perfect. So it's looking all too easy for McClarkey. 6-2 up, breaking off in rack number 9, looking for a ball or something to go down, and once again absolutely nothing doing. And no doubt Dirties is going to try a bank again. And the 2's hidden away behind the 7 and the 6, so well, he's banking into the corner. He's got it. He's got no chance on the 2 though, I don't think. Now if he plays this slow, he could end up in trouble. And if he plays it hard, he can end up scratching off the edge of the 2, just like that. So, ball in hand. And the problem ball could certainly be the 6. Hidden behind the 7 in that right corner. Now, if there's anybody there who speaks English that's watching this stream, can you let me know what the stream looks like on your end? Is it any good, or is it buffering up? Because it's certainly still buffering on my monitor. So that's the problem McClarkey's had. He's still stuck behind the 7. A gentle little kick behind the 6. He could leave him hooked, and that's a good shot. And Dirties is right back against the wall now. This is a kick and hope. Hit it firm and just hope it goes in or goes safe. And it's going in. And nothing left but a bank in the 7. And if he plays the bank into this bottom right corner as we look, the cue ball should be going up towards the 8. Well, didn't get anywhere near the bank, but he's got second prize. But it looks easy enough to kick at this 7. Plenty of room off the side rail. And well, that's that's safe, because that's tight to judge any sort of angle on that, to do anything with it. Well, it should be all over now. Simple enough, 7 ball to roll it in. Cue ball's going to come out into the middle of the table for the 8. Well, he's going to finish up in the rail, I think. I think he's straight. No, there's a slight angle. And again, he's just over hit it. Should be okay though. So this for the match, and a 7-2 victory. And McClarkey's through to round 2. So that looks like our second result that's come in. That first match is already through, so let's have another quick look at the bracket. And we'll see McClarkey's now through to play Larry. And no doubt McClarkey's going to be getting a reasonable enough handicap against Larry in that match. Right, so what to do? Well, McClarkey is about to go in to play Larry, and I think we'll join that match. That should certainly, Larry's going to offer up much stiffer opposition for McClarkey. And I'm just going to have a quick drink, if I can find my bottle. I wish I could type. Right, so match is underway, and in this match McClarkey's getting the 5 ball as the extra money ball. Larry trying to tuck in behind the 3 and the 4 there. Didn't manage it, but he still got cover. Now McClarkey's certainly more than good enough to handle a 5. 5 is his extra money ball if he can make use of it and if he can get to it. Now Larry's going to jump this, and barring an absolute disaster, he should be on the 2 ball. If he gets the 1, well, he's made the mistake. Didn't get over the 5. Ball in hand. well, I don't know whether he's got the angle just to skim that 2 and just come brushing past the 3. That was the problem there. If he'd managed to do that, it'd have been much easier holding for the 4. So the 4's off the rail, and it's a very thin cut. This cue ball could easily scratch if he doesn't watch what he's doing. He's heading up there. He's avoided it, and he's landed on the 5 into the middle pocket. And he's going to have to pull out. Oh, I'm forgetting. Five balls. His money ball. I was getting carried away already again. Now, Bill has beaten Irish Gaz by 7 racks to 4. McClarkey breaks off in rack number 2. And the 6 ball's gone down. He's got a cut in the 1. Easy position for the 2. Well, what's he done with that 9 ball? Well, that's going to be a problem, but he doesn't need to worry about it though. Larry's the one that's going to have to worry about that if Larry gets a chance. And he's about to, because McClarkey's just hooked himself behind the 7. The only place in the table you could put the ball that's going to leave you lots of problems. And what's he also done? Made a disaster of that, because he's now split the 7 and 8, which is what you don't want to do. And Larry's got ball in hand, so this is an open invitation for Larry, and it should be 1-all. And that was a bad mistake, catching that 7 ball, but the worst part of it was splitting the 8 and 9, because that's made Larry's life much more simpler in tidying up this rack. Well, I know what I would do. I would just stun up to that left middle pocket. Larry's got a different mindset, being a 9 ball player, than what I have. A little stun and spin. So it's now 1-all. I'm going to see if I can correct this. Last. Well, 5 balls in the open. Now, can he avoid this? Well, he's going to draw back, so that'll avoid the collision with the 9. And now he's just got to get this cue ball somewhere in the middle of the table, give himself a shot in the 5. He needs to keep running. So, McClarkey, 2-1 lead. So a dry break, and Larry now has an open table. Let's see what he can do. He's overcut the 1, but he's got away with it. And McClarkey's going to be stuck behind the 8 ball in a second. That's nice and tight, so he's got no chance of jumping that. He's going to have to kick. Going to have to be a 2-railer, maybe. Or can he get past the 8 that side? Yes, he can. Well, that made it a lot easier. That was just a fraction away from the 8 ball, and it was just enough that he could squeeze round it. So Larry's still, well, having said that, he's left that a bit short as well, and I don't think he can avoid the 7. Let's have a look. I think, oh, I can. Bit of right hand English though. And he's managed to play that well, but well enough, but he's ended up dead straight. So this is a problem. He's going to have to try and cheat an angle here, and he's managed to do it. Oh dear. Well, Larry somehow managed to contrive a problem here. Stuck himself behind a 9. No option but to jump. But again, jumping from distance, he's not going to have a lot of pace in that cue ball. But he's managed to get enough to get it out. But he's still going to have to pull out another good one in this 6. He's going to have to probably follow through off that top rail and back up the table. Good bit of pace he needs here to get this cue ball up the table and back out. Played it well. Played it with left hand English as well, and that made the shot a lot more difficult. And he's got reasonable position, but unfortunately again he's pretty straight, so he's trying to get this cue ball away from the rail to try and get off this 8 and up for the 9. So this isn't cut and dried here for Larry, and that's the problem. He's had to run forward to give himself room to get to the cue ball. So it's going to take another good shot on this 8. And he's going for the draw, and he's underhit it. So it's a reverse bank into this bottom right, it looks like anyway. Up there with the 9 and down there. And if he misses it there, he could go back up into that pocket. It's a sort of 2-in-1 shot. But Larry's usually pretty good at judging them. But this time, it didn't work out. And it's a gift. And so Larry had his chance here. And came a cropper behind the 9 ball. And that's a gift for McClarkey, a 3-1 lead. The ball's gone in. The 8 ball has gone. I don't think. Oh, you can. You can. I didn't think he could see enough of the 1. He certainly can. But I think he's dead straight. Yeah. He was trying to go around the angle there and send the cue ball up the table, but he was too straight. And the spin took the cue ball through into the pocket. So once again, we've got the same scenario. We've got Larry with ball in hand. There's all the balls there for the taking. This time, well, this time he's got more problems because he's got the shot in the 3. Well, he's still got to force this in to get the cue ball out for the 4, and this is where things start going wrong. He's played that well. Now, of course, the 5 ball is only going into that middle. And the angle he's got in the 4, the cue ball wants to run back up the table, so he's got to judge the pace in this. He's trying to drag and kill the pace off the cue ball. and that's why he's overcut it. Now, he could have played that with pace and run the cue ball off the bottom rail and back up the table and back down, but playing it with a lot of drag takes a lot of the momentum out of the cue ball, and he sent it offline. So again, it's a gift for McClarkey. So Larry is unfortunately making the biggest contribution to his downfall here himself, and that's a couple of racks have gone through Larry's mistakes. And McClarkey's got, certainly the one ball went in the middle, and the 4 ball has gone, and he's going to have to jump from distance to get to the 2, which he's done easily enough. Now we're going to see a billiard onto the 9. Might be worth trying it. He could hit that 3 ball. Lost my stream there. Well, I don't know what he did because I missed it, and my stream is now buffering again. I don't know what the hell's going on with YouTube tonight. And I think Larry might be losing his connection here. I think we've got a bit of problem with internet tonight. It might be a bit crowded. And certainly Larry looks as if he's about to disappear. We don't see his cue, which is always a sign that he's disconnecting, which he certainly has done. And should only be a minute or so before he's back in. Well, the funny thing there is it didn't pop up in the chat there saying that, well, maybe it did because the chat scrolled up. Yeah, it said that Larry had left, and then he's a returning player. Now he's still not shooting, so I don't think things are going too well here for Larry. Yeah, I think Larry might need a reboot. Now, the situation in tournaments, just in case you haven't heard before, is that when a player disconnects during a tournament, he's got 5 minutes on the clock to get himself back into the game, or the actual match will be forfeited automatically by the tournament system. So on my screen, Larry's cue is still shown in the table, but he's definitely not here. I think he's probably going to do a... Well, this looks better. His cue stick's moved this time. He's looking at the cutting angle on the 3. I think we're back in business here, folks. Now, Larry is now on his extension. And it might actually be different on his screen, but on my screen his extension is running out. Yeah. He was probably seeing a different extension time to what I was seeing there. And he's actually showing that he's still got 1 extension. But he's still got more problems to deal with here because Larry's got the 5 in the middle of the table. Remember, the 5 is McClarkey's extra money ball. And if Larry makes a hash of this, and he hasn't, he's managed to get it, but he's still got this 6 ball to deal with. 7 ball isn't an issue, it's hanging over the middle pocket, just needs to focus on the 6. And Larry needs to win this rack. No other outcome's going to help him. He's got to win this rack. And he gets that, no problem. And a thin edge in the 7. And he'll drop behind the 8. He wants to drop onto this bottom rail to be ideal. Well, I think he's enough angle there to, again, he's got a choice. He can go off the, he's got 2 choices how he does it. He can go off the side rail and come across, or he could actually stun up and finish about there. When he's gone across, he's following the line. And the only bad thing about it is he's tight in the rail, but it should be okay. And there's another result come in. Bedhead has beaten Wink at Me 7-4. And Larry manages to get 1, reduces the deficit. He's still trailing by 2, and he's breaking off in rack number 7. And he's going to scratch. Now, I'm thinking that last rack there when Larry broke, or was it Larry that broke? One of the racks, somebody I think didn't hit the rail. There wasn't enough balls hit a rail, and that break there looked pretty heavy as well. So McClarkey's managed to pot the 1 and land himself on the 2. Now, I don't think he can cut that 3, but he can certainly play a decent safety. If he can just get a wee bit of draw on it or spin. He's managed to use the 9 as cover. Larry lining up the jump. Now, notice what Larry did there. He actually, what he didn't do was line the cue ball up to the actual point he wanted to hit that 3 ball. And that's why he missed it on the way up. Now, the only way he would miss it on the way up if he had English in the cue ball when he actually played the jump shot. Because as it is, he's left McClarkey another gift. So that was not a great jump shot, Larry, I'm afraid. And now it's 5-2. Well, this time it's dry, but Larry's got a shot on the 1. But Larry's really up against it here now, because he's well aware that if he makes a mistake, that McClarkey's more than capable of taking the opportunities, and he's done that. That's exactly what's happened. And at least 3 are at the racks that we've seen. They've all gone to McClarkey, and they've all gone because of Larry's mistakes. It's slightly the wrong angle in the 3, but the major problem here is that the 5's blocking the path for the 4. So I'm going to have to maybe play this with a bit of inside, which he's done. Is he going to be unlucky? Yes, he is. Hooked himself behind a 5. No doubt he's going to jump this. So once again, Larry has a problem to deal with, and again, it's at the critical stage in the rack. He's managed to get the jump, and the 4-ball thought about going into the middle, but as it is, it's back into the middle of the table, and it's another gift opportunity here. And McClarkey's taking it long to keep the cue ball in the top half of the table, and an easy 5. So now it's all or nothing for Larry. 6-2 down. 8 balls going in the break. 9 balls going in, that's going to get respotted. And a thin cut in the 1 or an easy safety. He's got a choice. Can try and send that 1 ball right up. Well, he's banked to 1. I don't know whether he played it because he's got no shot in the 2. And Larry's got no shot either. But once again, no, he's got to somehow get this safe. We'll get the 2 ball in the open. If there's going to be a problem here, if McClarkey gets in, it's going to be the 4 ball, which he either is going to have to try and get on it into a pocket somewhere, or play a combo onto the 5. Well, Larry's went all out. A great shot in the 2, but he's got to follow it up now. And Larry's the one that's going to have to deal with the problem of the 4 ball straight away off this 3. Oh dear, well, that could be Larry's last shot in this match. Scratch in the middle. And the only thing that can save Larry is this 4 ball. And straight away McClarkey's made up his mind. He's going to stop the cue ball. Well, no, he's run through and nudged. He's nudged the 6, but he's left an awkward angle on the 4. And he's overcut it. Now, was that the wisest move there? I don't think so. It would have been easier just to stop the cue ball and play the combo in the 4 onto the 5, because it wasn't a difficult combo. And this is a lifeline for Larry that Larry did not expect. I can guarantee you that. Where's the cue ball going? Oh, jeez. Oh, Larry is dicing with death here. Somehow it stayed out the pocket. Well, the angle in the 7 is such, I don't know whether he can hold it for the 9 or whether he can run through and leave the 9 into this left middle. If he runs through far enough. You've got to be clear in his mind what he's trying to do here. Well, he's overhit that by a big margin. And now it's a lottery. As another result comes in, Mr. Bill has beaten Romario by 7 racks to 4. And remember, all of these losers in the first round, they all get a second chance on the 1 lost side. So their tournament isn't over yet. And that's Larry. Misses the 9. And this is a good bank here for McClarkey. And it could end up in a double bank, but it's certainly a good bank. Oh, and it goes. And I think the less said about that match for Larry, the better, because it all went wrong from the halfway mark onwards, and McClarkey wins the match by 7 racks to 2. So we've had another few results come in, and we'll go and have a quick look at the bracket again. Those matches should be, well, that one's about to update, the McClarkey one, and he's now going to play Mr. Bill. And meanwhile, Capo is trailing by 4 racks to 3 against Wizard Cheat. Bedhead is 2-0 down to Slim, who's getting the 8 ball, and that's the match we're going to drop in on. And that is again, it's an extra money ball for Slim, but again, Slim's a more than capable player of giving Bedhead a match, and Bedhead sitting there with a 2,337 rating. He's going to have to prove his rating. It's all very well having a great rating, but the only way you're going to prove that is in tournaments, if you can come up with the goods. And it's easy enough to get a good rating playing in challenge rooms all day, but you've got to do it at the business end in tournaments. And when you're trailing 2-0, you've got to get clever, and Bedhead has got clever. Plays the hook on Slim. And Slim has missed the kick, so this time Bedhead has ball in hand, but has he got a problem with that 7 ball? Let's have a look. And he's looking at it, and I don't like where that 7 ball is sitting. It's sitting very awkward. So Bedhead has got work to do here. I don't know whether he can draw off this 6 and draw into the 7. That's what he's trying. No, he's thinking he can get enough on it. Can he get enough on that to pot it? I think he can, looking at it from that angle. He's going to have to be delicate though. He can't be playing this speedy, and he's got to think about the 8 ball. Oh yes, it went in, no problem. Played it with right hand English as well to check the cue ball off the bottom rail and come back up straight for the 8 ball. So Bedhead is going to get his first rack in the board, and that all came about from that missed kick shot by Slim. So Bedhead did come up with the goods, and he did run out. Well, this is going to be interesting. We lost the 3 ball and the 5 ball, and Bedhead is about to play a stun onto the 1 and just billiard that 9 in, I think. As long as he doesn't follow it in. Oh dear, well, that's exactly what can happen. Hit it far too hard, and the momentum of the cue ball just trotted straight in after the 9. So now it's One Pocket Slim's opportunity with ball in hand, all the balls in the open. Now remember, he's getting the 8 ball as his extra money ball. He's on the 2. Let's have a look at that. Presumably he's just going to cut the 2. He's not going to try and play a combo. And this, in all honesty, should be easy enough for One Pocket Slim. Well, he's gone to the rail. He's now potting into a blind pocket, but the cue ball's going to travel in the right direction. It's coming over to the left. And here's the crucial one. Now he can either do two things. He can draw off the 7, or he can go through off the 7 and come up behind the 9 down the right hand side of the table, but it needs power. And he's played the draw and he's pretty well set on the 8. So Slim returns the compliment, ball in hand in this rack, and he clears up to the 8 ball, and it's now 3-1. No ball in the break. Now that, even without going up to look, that there looks like a 2-6 combo. It certainly looks easy enough to be made. Now let's have a look. Well, that nudge in the 8 ball hasn't helped, but he should still probably be able to cut that 2 onto the 6 and play the combo. But the cue ball's going to be running well away from the 2, so you have a hard push to run out from this position. Where's the cue ball going to end up? Well, that 2 ball cuts. He's got a nice enough angle. He's got the same problem again. I don't think he can cut that in such a pace to hold for the 3, so you're going to have to let the cue ball run. Well, the only place it's going to go wrong is behind the 7 and the 8 ball. Oh dear. Well, no doubt he's going to jump this, and he should certainly be able to pot the 3. But the distance that he's jumping, there's a strong danger this cue ball's going to bounce off the table. Well, he's got it okay. How's his luck? Well, he's on the 4. And the problem ball's a 7. It's in an awkward place. Let's have a closer look at the 7 ball. Well, that 7 cuts, I think. And then again, I'm thinking, no, it doesn't, because you've got to get the cue ball in that gap there to get the edge, and I don't think that's on. You might have to try and nudge into it, and he's got a perfect angle on the 5 to come across there and move something. No, and he's missed it. Well, no prizes for guessing here. Just catch the edge of that 7, nudge it in to behind the black, and get the cue ball up the table. Oh, that's not a great shot either, because now he's left Slim the bank. Didn't catch that right. Try to nudge it in behind the 8. Well, Slim could he could bank this, or if he cuts it, he's going to run into the 8. And then he's just got to hope that he gets lucky and gets a shot on the 8 ball. He's went for the bank. He's going to double the bank. And now he's got a very thin cut in the 8. And remember, this is his extra money ball, so he just needs to sink this, and he's 4-1 up. But it is not easy. Plays it well. Cue ball's okay. And it's 4-1. I'm just looking at my stream. My stream has stopped buffering and it's probably about at least 3 racks behind. So it is. So Bedhead, the higher rated player, under pressure, trailing 4-1. And there's the result come in. Wizard Cheat has beaten Capo by 7 racks to 4. And those are the 2 players in the tournament that are getting the heaviest handicap when they're playing anybody else other than each other. And that is a good safety. Kick shot here for Slim. He missed the last one. Let's see if he can hit this one. Well, he's done it again. Missed the kick. Where's the cue ball going? Oh dear. Well, Bedhead's dug himself a hole here again. Out comes a jump stick. Misses the 4. Gets it safe though, but well, safe-ish, but there is a bank there. Now, is One Pocket Slim going to the bank? We're about to find out. Well, a softish draw off the 6. Shouldn't be a problem getting on the 7. Just needs to get that angle though. He has the angle. Needs to avoid hitting the 9 ball when he's trying to get up the table. He's avoided that. So it's looking very likely it's going to be 5-1. Well, it's certainly more than likely because he just needs the 8. So Slim broke off in rack number 7. Comes up a dry break. Bedhead plays the safety. Well, this time Slim can see the 1. Well, he's calling a 9 ball here, trying to billiard it off the 1. Well, he's played it soft, and Bedhead is looking at drawing off the 1 onto the 9, but again he needs to be careful. He gets too much juice into this, he could follow it in. But he's played it well, so that was a price to pay there for Slim for his efforts trying to get that 9. Left it hanging over the pocket and made it easy for Bedhead. So Bedhead is now trailing by 3 racks. 2-5 down. And this time he's got a ball in the break. What did he get? 2 balls gone. It's going to be a 1 on to the 4. So again, it's just got to be pocket weight just to leave that one ball where the 4 is. We're pretty close to it. And you feel that Bedhead, having broke off in this rack and got a ball in the break, he's really got to run out here to get himself partially back into this match and make a match of it. Well, Larry, who we just saw going over to the one lost side, he's just beaten Potman, so Potman's participation in the tourney this week is over. Larry wins by 4 racks to 2. Well, Bedhead again has a choice. He can roll this 7 in, this 8 ball in, and just leave the 9 long, which is what he's going to do. Or he could have ran around the angles to play the 9 into the same pocket. But it's a good break and run there for Bedhead. But his run comes to an end. I think he's come up dry. Slim's got a cut in the 1. Another result in from the one lost side. Romario has been beaten by Wink at Me by 4 racks to 2 as well. Well, there's enough angle there for Slim to cut the 3 and get on the 4, no problem. But the angle that he gets on this 4 ball is important, because that 7 and 8 ball are blocking an easy path to the 5. So now that he's finished high in the 4, he certainly doesn't want to play this with any left English, because he could have went straight into that 8 ball there and had no shot in the 5, so he's played that correctly. Well, this is a good way to respond by one pocket Slim, losing that last rack to a run out. There's nothing better to do than, when you get a chance yourself in the next rack, to come out and do exactly the same. Now, nothing elaborate needs to be done here. He just needs to drop the 8 ball and he's on the 9. Well, what am I talking about? Again, I've forgotten he just needs the 8 ball. Oh, I went and put myself into a coughing fit. Overcut. So 6-3 to Slim. And again, there is a chance here. Now it'd be good to nudge that 7 ball. I don't think he can avoid it, but it'd certainly open up the 6. And he's managed that. Well, Slim has got a straight choice here to play position in that 5 to play the 5-9 combo. So he's just got to get this cue ball round about here if he can. And he's overdone it. And he's overdone it to the extent that he might actually play the billiard. Hit the cue ball off that. In fact, that looks a better bank more than anything else at 5. Yep. Simple enough bank. This match is all over because unless he makes a stunning miss on this 6 ball, he's going to be on the 7. Cue ball over to the right hand side for the 8, and that's all he needs. So it's been a strong finish for Slim. Run the last 2 racks to win the match. So Slim wins by 7 racks to 3. Well, that has moved the bracket on a wee bit, those results coming in. Let's see where we stand. Well, we've got Mr. Bill still playing McClarkey. Mr. Bill is up by 4 racks to 3, and it looks that there's no handicap in that match. Slim has moved through to play Wizard Cheat. Now Slim is going to have a problem in that match because Wizard Cheat's going to be getting 5 and out. So we'll jump into the Mr. Bill match. McClarkey at the table. So this is a scratch match, nobody getting any handicap balls. Both players need to get to the 9. I'm just going to refresh that stream again and see if it picks up. So we're tied up at 4 racks all here. Dry break, open table, Mr. Bill coming in. And I don't see where there's a problem in this table. And Bill's just got to drop this 8 ball in if he can to try and hold for a shot in the 9. And does that okay. So Bill going to go back into the lead. McClarky's got himself on the 3 ball, and may well be enough angle there to spin the cue ball out and up the table or down the table as we look. Well, he's underhit it slightly. Still got a good angle though. How does that look? Well, a bit straightish. So everything's now getting played from a distance. He's now got to judge his pace through in this 7 ball and back down to the bottom table here, bottom rail, and anything but straight, and that's pretty good. Can get the cue ball back up the table for the 9, and once again he's left it shortish, playing it from distance, and it goes though back all square. Now certainly a ball went into the top right hand pocket and the right middle, so the 3 ball and the 7 ball have gone. Unfortunately, he's no shot in the one other than a jump. Well, good jump, but look what the cue ball's finished. Hooked himself in the 2, I think. Yeah. I'll be happy with that. Mr. Bill, though, if there's enough room there, he's most certainly going to be jumping over that 9. Looks a bit close to me, though. Well, he's managed to do it, but he's overcut the 2. A little bit of unwanted spin on that cue ball there, and he's left it for McClarky. Oh, that was unlucky. Nice pace in the cue ball to come back up for the 4, but that kiss in the 9 has just knocked it out of line, so now he's got a problem. The problem's getting on the 5. What's he done? Well, the 5 does go past the 6. It's tightish, but it does go. Oh dear, he's overcut it. Where's the cue ball? Well, it's a chance for Bill. Oh dear, the old tiredness is setting in, I'm afraid. Body's in shutdown mode again when it gets this time of night. So Mr. Bill goes to the hill. and breaking off in rack number 12. Just needing one more. Well, the 5-ball thought about it, took a look in the pocket and decided against it, so it's still a dry break. But I think, once again, no shot for McClarkey, other than a push, I would say. Is Bill going to try the billiard here onto the 9? I think that 1 ball's too close to the rail to try that. Well, he's tried it and he's got it. So that is a quick one, and Bill wins the match by 7 racks to 5. So McClarkey now moves over to the 1 loss side, and we can see Bill is sitting there waiting on the winner of the Wizard Cheat 1 pocket slim match, and as I thought, Wizard Cheat's getting 5 and out. Meanwhile, if we move across the 1 loss side, we see McClarkey's over there, and we see that Larry is trailing by 2 racks to 1 against Wink at Me, who's getting the 8 ball. So we'll move into that match and have a look and see how things are going. Well, it's actually Larry at the table on the 6 ball, and this match should be all square in a minute. Are you still there, Andy? I never noticed you in the chat. Because the stream's now buffering again. It's been buffering all night. I've had to refresh my monitor screen 2 or 3 times to actually be able to see the stream. So we're 2-all. Got the 1 ball hanging over the bottom pocket here. I presume Larry's playing a push unless I'm out of sync here. Yeah, he's playing a push. And Capo has beaten Dirties by 4 racks to 2. Meanwhile, Wink at Me's back at the table. So Wink at Me takes the lead on the hill though, because it's only a race to 4, and Wink at Me's getting the 8 ball as his extra money ball. So Larry has got his work cut out here. Is the stream buffering for you guys? Tell me yes or no. Because I'm getting a poor quality notification in YouTube, and it's been buffering all night for me. And I had this bloody immense Windows 10 update that I did before I came back online, which took about 40 minutes to install the damn thing. Well, Larry got lucky there because he's left it safe on that 3 ball, 6 balls acting as a blocker. Winkemy could play the cross bank here if he wants. No, he's decided to try and keep it tight, and he's got away with it. And Larry's in trouble. He can't kick at the 3 ball from that side because the 9's in the way. And he's maybe going to have to jump over the 5, hit the bottom rail, and kick the 1, kick into the back of the 3. And that could run into the 9, which means the 3's not going to run very far. Well, Larry's kicked it, and would you believe it, he's potted it, and look what he's done. Oh, that's unlucky. Hooked himself. Well, the old saying is behind the 8 ball, but unfortunately this time he's right behind the 9 ball. And this will be a good shot to even get an edge on this 4 ball. He's picking his diamond. He's missed it. He's opened up the 8 and the 7. And, well, you'd have to say that this match should be over. Now, Winkemy just needs to leave a good angle. He needs a wee bit higher angle than that, I would think. Well, he's going to have to squeeze it now to get up for the 5. Well, he's got it okay. Tucked onto the rail, though. Yeah, I don't know what it is tonight. It just seems a bit crappy. I mean, my PC, when it was updating Windows, it rebooted itself 2 or 3 times anyway. So I don't know whether it's anything to do with this Windows update, but yeah, the stream quality's been shit from the start, according to the information I'm getting here. Well, Winkeme's put himself in trouble here. 7 ball hanging over the pocket, having to play a safe. He's played a good one, but shouldn't be any trouble for Larry to jump this 8 and 9, but even if Larry gets this, he's still going to have his work cut out to clear up. But he's going to have an angle on the 7. He needs to get this cue ball over to the right hand side of the table to leave an angle off that 7 to get the split on the 8 and 9. And he's hit it too hard, so he needs to keep running now to leave him the angle the other way, and that looks okay. Now let's have a look. Off there, and cue ball over here to get the split. He'll settle for that. Oh no, maybe not. He's going to have to pull out a bank. Shit, what am I doing here? Hang on a minute. Oh, he's going to double bank it. Well, Larry's hanging on by the skin of his teeth here. So it's going to be hill. So Larry breaking off in the final rack. Oh, something went in the top left. It went in too quick, I didn't see it. But more importantly, he's not got a shot in the 1, and we lost the 8 ball there. Sorry, the 7 ball. Has he got cover? No, he hasn't. And that 2 ball does go past the 8, no problem. Plenty of room. He just needs to focus on getting the cut in the 1. This cue ball has to travel across the table twice, I think, to give himself a shot in this 2. He needs to hit this with enough pace. He overcut the 1, and again he's got it safe. Larry just going to try and tuck the cue ball in behind the 4 and 5, bank that 1 up towards the 3, and he's played it well. So now Larry's got the upper hand. Wink at me lining up the jump, I think. Well, he's got the hit, but he's left the 1 on. So now, can Larry hold himself together to run this rack out? And straight away he has a problem, because the thin cut in the 1 means the cue ball's running, so it's all about trying to control the pace in the cue ball to take that 2 ball in past the 9 into the top right. And he doesn't want to hit this too soft for fear of scratching into the bottom left. And that's why, well, he's going to end up very, very good on this 2. He'll take that. A little split on the 2 and the 3. Still got slightly the wrong angle in the 2, but he won't be caring as long as he's got a pot in the 2. And how's the angle now? Well, that's pretty good, but it's going to have to be a 4-5 combo unless he drops the short side of the 4. Now he can drop the short side of the 4. What's he done with the cue ball here, Larry? Oh dear. Well, I think it's all very well with hindsight. Hindsight's the greatest thing in sport and anything else you do in life. But if he'd taken the safer shot, he would have left the combo, which in all honesty wasn't a difficult combo. And now he's got himself in a hole. And this is make or break. Hit and hope. Where's the 4 ball going? Where's the 4 ball going? Oh, he'll take that. I wonder if he'll apologise for that. Oh dear. Now he's going to have to reverse bank this 5. Or is he taking it between the 6 and the 7? 6 and the 8 ball. I don't know what he's doing. He's taking the reverse bank. In it goes. Well, now, surely he's got to go round the corner. Now, the problem here is going around the corner. He could collide with that 9. One way or another. But he's trying to get onto this 8 while he's playing it soft. Probably worried about the 9 ball that side. How's he looking? A little draw off it. He should be home and dry. Well, Larry got the bit of luck that he needs. And somehow, unless he makes a complete hash of this 9 ball, he's managed to scrape his way through this match. So in goes the 9. Larry's still in the tournament. And he's won the match by 4 racks to 3. Right, now let's have a look at the clock. We are coming up in, well, between 20 and 10:15. Remember, folks, all beddy by time at 10:30. Doesn't matter how the tournament is. That's my cut-off time, I'm afraid, until the clocks go back. Right, so Larry is now sitting there waiting on his next opponent. A loser coming over from this side. Meanwhile, we have Bedhead playing McClarkey, and they're in the first rack. McClarkey's getting a 7 and 8 ball. Now again, that should be a good match between those two. And Wizard Cheat is, what the hell's the score in that match? He's currently up 2-0 against Slim. But I think we're going to go into this Bedhead match and see McClarkey again. He's getting plenty of coverage this week. So, still in the first rack. Not the best of safety shots. Now, if Bedhead pots this too, oops, wait a minute. Well, he could make the 3-7 combo. It's not set, but it's easy enough to make it if he can get the cue ball down to about here. If not, if he gets the cue ball here, he can play the 3-9. So he's got choices. All depends on what he can do with the cue ball. Well, he's going for the 3-9, and that's pretty good. He's just got to hit half of that 9 ball with this 3, and it'll go in. And he overdone it. Again, he semi got away with it, but he should be in trouble in a second. Should be tucked in behind that 7 and 5. Well, he's not tucked in tight enough, because that's easy enough to kick. That 3 ball from the short rail at the top end as we look. Or if he can get around the angle here, which he can. Oh dear, misjudgment. So, again, just a reminder, McClarkey in this match is getting a 7 ball as his extra money ball. He's got ball in hand. Now, I think he got a bit too greedy there. He tried to nudge that 7. Let's have a look at this 7 and 5. Well, the 5 only goes into one pocket, and even then, it'd be a great shot to get a cue ball down here to have any sort of shot in that 5. He's banked to 4. Well, this calls for a little thin edge. Needs to avoid that 9 ball though. Doesn't want to nudge into the 9. Needs to be careful with this. And that's pretty good. I wonder what the inappropriate chat is in the lobby. Oops, wrong one. Hang on. I need to see this inappropriate chat. Unless it was an inappropriate chat from 2 or 3 nights ago, but I don't see anything. Right, anyway. Where are we? Cue ball needs to bounce. Well, this is about riding your luck here, because you can spin and avoid that scratch in the middle, and he's finished perfectly 8. In fact, only needed a 7 again. Forgotten about his handicap. I must have a memory like a goldfish. Whenever I mention somebody's got a 7 ball as an extra money ball, straight away I completely forget about it. So McClarkey's off and running, 1-0. Dry break, Bedhead with a shot in the 1. No shot, but a combo on the 7 here in a minute with the 2. Oh dear. Well, how's that finished? He tried to spin that in there. He'll settle for that though. Now, can Bedhead... Well, what he's going to have to do, he's going to have to play this with a bit of left-hand English past that 8, or a bit of right that side. If he plays it that side, let's have a look. If he plays it that side, he's going to have to play it with a bit of right English, I think, to make the angle to get down there. If he went that side, if he played it with left-hand English, it would straighten the cue ball up to get it that way. So he's got 2 choices. He's playing it with a little bit of right. Unlucky, not a bad effort. So ball in hand. And that's unfortunate. McClarkey's just nudged the 4 and he's nudged it safe beside the 6. He's went for the split. Well, he's not going to pot anything there unless he tries the bank. And it's gone in, has it? Oh, that 7 ball almost did him a favour there. Bedhead can certainly squeeze past the 6. And you can see this, the 6 going past the 7 as well, so good chance here to square the match up. Oh, all of a sudden my stream quality has gone green, but my actual live stream on my monitor is still buffering. So just give me a second till I refresh that. Right, let's see if it holds up now. It seems to be okay now. Yeah, I've now got a green banner, a green line across the screen now that tells me the stream quality is good. Well, back to the match. Bedhead on the 9 ball. Remember, this is a 1 lost side match, race to 4 only. And One Pocket Slim has taken care of Wizard Cheat. And remember, he was giving Wizard Cheat that big handicap, and Slim has won the match by 7 racks to 4. So let's have a quick look there, see how that takes shape in the bracket. One Pocket Slim is now going to be playing Mr. Bill, and Mr. Bill is... What is Mr. Bill getting? I can't read that bloody bracket, my eyes are terrible. Mr. Bill is getting a 6 ball. Jesus Christ, man. McClarkey at the table. Thin cutting the 4 into the right middle, but if he plays it with the correct pace, he'll be on the 5. And that looks as if it's going to hold up. I thought it was running a wee bit too hard there. Well, he's fine. He can just nudge into the 7. And now a good angle as well in the 6 to get back out for the 7. And of course, that was Mr. McClarkey's extra money ball. And now leading by 2 racks to 1. But once again, nothing doing in the break. No. I've in fact now the bloody stream's gone to amber again. No, I'm just saying I've got excuse me, I've got about 35 minutes before I go to my bed, and hopefully my intention is to see the rest of this match out and catch the end of Larry and Mr. Bill. Well, that was again trying to split the 9 and the 3, but all he's done is got himself in bother behind the 9. He's missed the kick, so straight away, again, a 2,300 player with ball in hand, and the ball's in this position in the table, you've got to expect him to run out. And Bedhead doing what you should do is actually have a look around the table and see where your cue ball's going to get on these balls, because that way when you plot your route in your head, you can then execute that at the table. And he's just got slightly more of an angle in this 4 than he actually wanted now, so the cue ball's having to run. And this can go wrong because that 6 ball is in a position that would interfere with the path of the cue ball, and Bedhead has done the right thing. Realising that, he's played the cue ball short so he can play the 5 into the middle and just drop behind the 6. And now he's got a good angle. Can come off that top rail. And again with the pace, he's just got to judge this right. And where the 7 ball is, it's always easy to go the wrong side and finish down near the bottom rail. So he's played it well under hit. He's going to leave it long. And this should be fairly simple now. Drop the 8 ball in. The one thing I've noticed is that when the stream is working, the stream is actually only about 3 seconds behind what I'm watching live. That's actually the best it's ever been. It's usually about 5 or 6 seconds. So the match is tied up all square. Bedhead's potted the 6 ball in the break. Jumping over the 5 to get the edge of this 1. He might get second prize and catch the 2. Well, he's knocked it away from the pocket and knocked it safe. It might have been handier if he'd managed to pot that 2 with the same shot there. So now all he's got is a... Well, he doesn't want to try and reverse bank this, because this can go wrong. He could end up nudging the 9 over the pocket with a 2 ball, and that's why he's better to play the safety. I don't think that cuts in, does it? No. Can certainly cut it down the rail if he wants to have a go at that, but certainly not getting into the middle. He's cut it away from the rail, and the cue ball's going to finish behind it. So now a chance for McClarkey. Just cut the 2 into the pocket. He's going to be on the 3, no problem. little soft draw of this 7 would be fine. Oh, I keep forgetting again. I'm forgetting it's his money ball. I've done it again. I'm wondering why he's not playing the little draw, and then it just clicks in that he's got the 7 as his extra money ball. Anyway, what it means is McClarkey's on the hill, breaks off, and rack number 6 gets the 2 ball on the break and has no real shot in the 1. Just looking to push. And the stream's now buffering again. That wasn't the best of safety shots because Bedhead can cut the 1. How does he get on to that 3? Needs a lot of right English, and that's why he missed the 1. Well, he'd actually got an edge in the 3. He could have played the 3-4 combo there, but as I say, that shot with the wrong angle, having to play all that inside English, that's why he missed it. Made it a lot more difficult shot. Well, that's the only thing that could scupper McClarkey there, but he's still got the thin cut in the 4. Oh dear, that's unfortunate. So here's a chance for Bedhead to tie the match up. An unfortunate scratch there. But it's ball in hand. And again, Bedhead is just doing the right thing. When you get ball in hand, you need to look at the table. You need to look at where you're putting the cue ball and how you're getting on to the next ball to get you off and running. Wrong side of the 6. Now, again, with this shot, you don't want to get too ambitious. If you want to play a flare shot, you could try skimming round the table and then end up hooking yourself behind the 8. So he just played the straightforward, simple shot there and potted the 6 and left a higher cut in the 7. It's the only sensible thing to do. And this is all about judging the pace as well. Delicate little cut. Nice position on the 8. And once again, a judgment of pace. The one thing that always worries me about this is finishing here on that 9. And that's why it's always better to play it short and maybe underhit it and finish this way. Now you see he's played the draw, and now fortunately he has gone too far, and the 9 ball being central, he's left it on into the middle. So we have got a tie ball game, folks, and a final rack decider between Bedhead and McClarkey. Bedhead breaking off in the final rack, and it doesn't look as if he's any joy. Oh, 4 ball finally went in, but no real shot in the 1. Now, if he can manage to kick this 1 off that bottom rail and up the table and avoid that 1 ball hitting anything, he can get a reasonable safety. Well, he's played it soft to try and drop behind the 9. Has he done it? Yes, he has. Good shot. McClarkey gets the kick, but he's just left a 1-3 combo. Well, that looked that easy, you couldn't miss it, but strange things happen. And of course the one ball has gone safe. Now, can he see the edge of that one? I think he can. I think he can get to that to cut it. Now, how's his luck? Well, that is not the best safety he's ever played in his life. And this is a chance for Bedhead. Now the important shot here is going past the middle pocket with the cue ball. He needs to get the south side of this 6 to be able to make it easier to get on the 7. He needs to be playing this 6 from this side. That way the cue ball can go through to here to play the 7. Well, he's hit the knuckle and he's the wrong side of the 6. So there's now nothing he can do other than run the cue ball. A lot of left hand English. Get it moving. That needs to run at shorter pace. Oh dear, what's happened here? Well, I think he can see enough of this 7 to play the cross bank, believe it or not. I think he's going to have to go for it, because he can't see enough of it to play safe off it and kill the cue ball. So you maybe have to try and play the cross double. Is he trying to bank it into the left middle? What's he doing? Well, in the end I actually don't know what he tried to do, but either way the double kiss has given McClarkey match ball, and in it goes. So that's a horrible way to lose the match. But McClarkey wins it by 4 racks to 3. Now straight away what we're going to do is jump into this Bill and Larry match, because this is going to be the last match of the night, folks. And we join it at 3 racks all. Mr. Bill is getting a 6 ball. Why did I say Larry and Bill match? I'm pretty certain I just said that there. It's Slim and Bill. And Slim's fell with no position in the 2, but he should have a good safety. And that wasn't a great shot, because he was trying to get in behind the 8 and the 7 there. Bill can bank the 2 ball, or he can try billiard onto the 9. He can do various things. But one thing's for certain, if he pots the 2, he's going to have to do a fair amount with the cue ball to have a shot in this 3. And he's went for the bank. He got himself on the 3, but he's left it now open to Slim. How's the angle in the 3? That again, slightly the wrong angle for Slim. He's going to draw back and play the high cut in the 4. And the 6 goes in, no problem. It's all about judging control of this cue ball. A little delicate cut. Very nicely played. And again, he's got a good angle to drop in behind the 7. Well, this again is one of these shots that can go wrong. He needs to avoid that 8 at all costs, and he's managed to do it. But now he's left himself a high cut again. A thin edge in this 8 ball. Oh, that was not the best attempts at a bank there, was it? So it's a opportunity for Bill. Now Bill's extra money ball has already gone. Excuse me. And Bill's overhit it. Oh dear. Now he's going to have to pull one out again. And would you believe it, he's overcut it and he's left it on for Slim. So Slim has got away with it there. And there's a result come in, and Larry up against that big handicap against Wizard Cheat, and Larry has lost by 4 racks to 2. Oh, that's sick pull with that Birds and RC gliding. That needs to bounce. That's okay. Bit straight though, I think. Yeah, he's going to have to manufacture. So he could actually just trickle through and leave that 5 ball into the left middle. Well, he's tried to create more of an angle than was there, and that's why he's rattled the 4. Now, the one thing Slim needs to do is get the cue ball away from the corner slightly. And he's managed to do that, because that's the only way he can get the cue stick into the cue ball so he can come back for the 6. Now again, Slim's ended up dead straight in the 6. So he's managed to just take his medicine and roll the 6 in and leave the 7 long. In between the 8 and 9 would be ideal. Well, he's nudged the 8, but he's okay. And a little kill shot here should leave that 9 into the top right. So it looks as if Slim's going to open up a 2-rack gap here. Well, the match though, that it can certainly turn very quickly. Bill getting that 6 ball, if Bill can get enough balls in a run to actually get to the 6 ball. Well, Slim's came up dry. No shot for Bill. It's going to be a 1-8 combo by the looks of it. To prevent what? Did Steve finally work out what they are doing and prevent it? I don't know what you're talking about. You talking about ratings or what? Oh, that's a bad miss by Bill. And I think Bill's feeling a bit of the pressure. No, the only thing, as far as Bill's rating's concerned, Bill's down to 2027 because he's lost a lot of, what do you call it, a lot of challenge room matches. That's basically how that's happened. Well, if Bill's going to continue his tournament in the winner's side, he's going to have to start winning. Unfortunately now though, he's going to have to win every remaining rack to take out this match. Slim now leading by 6 racks to 3, breaks off in rack number 10, comes up dry, and Bill has got no shot in the 1 unless he tries to just cheat the angle and create something to pot the 1, but that was a bit ambitious. Again, Slim's dead straight in the 2, so he can only go forward or back. If he goes forward, he's going to scratch, so he can only come back the weight. And if he draws past the 7, he'll at least have a shot in the 3 in the middle. Well, he's left it short. Can still cut the 3, but I don't think he can avoid hitting the 9 and the 5. Maybe even the 8 ball. Well, that was always going to be the issue there. Now you can still see the 4, and he's looking at playing the safe. And I think he'll accept that. That's putting pressure on Bill, because Bill will have looked at the 4 and see it's off the rail, so he's went for the cut. And you're not always going to get them And even if he'd got it, looking where the cue ball's finished, he'd no shot in the 5. Well, this time Bill's got the chance to tuck the cue ball up in that top right hand corner with the 7, but it doesn't look as if he's going to play it. But that's the shot I'd be playing. Yeah, not the 7 up, but the 5 ball, I mean. Again, he's waiting for the bank. Well, this time he's somehow got away with it. Double kiss and the 5 ball has set it up in front. And Slim is well and truly hooked. Oh, I spoke to who was it I spoke to? Well, to cut a long story short, Steve has monitored the query about certain players. He's been monitoring it and he hasn't noticed any fluctuations or anything dodgy going on. That's all I can say on it. But then again, Steve could say that and he's actually done nothing at all. Oh, good evening, Simon. You joined just as I'm about to go to bed. So, Slim, just a 7, 8, 9 ball to win the match by 7 racks to 3. And he looks to be home and dry. So Bill is now moving over to the 1 lost side. And the problem with that is he's still got a couple of good players to deal with on that side of the bracket. So Slim wins by 7 racks to 3. We'll have a final look at the bracket. We'll see that Slim is now in the hot seat. He's sitting in tonight's final. And meanwhile, over on the 1 lost side, we've got McClarkey, who's actually playing Wizard Cheat, and Wizard Cheat is getting a 6 and out. And McClarkey's up by 2 racks to 1. Bill's sitting in the 1 lost side final to play the winner of that match. And with that, folks, I am going to bid you good night. Yeah, 4 o'clock I'm up at. Got to be in bed by 10:30 so I can at least get 4 hours sleep. So anyway, guys, thanks for watching, and you can enjoy the rest of the tournament in the lobby if you want, for those that have got Virtual Pool 4. But until next time, I will bid you good night and sayonara, as they say in Tokyo.